Hello, everyone. This is Chala, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, welcoming you to another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. It's been so long since I've actually pressed the live button that I barely remember how to do it. It's been so long since I've gone live on stream. On live stream, I've been doing live at conferences, events. I've been away in Newfoundland for over a week, and it's been a crazy whirlwind of an August, and luckily I don't have any other travels coming up until September. But it has been an amazing whirlwind, meeting with small businesses, meeting with CEOs who are trying to get their messaging, their story, their niche, and all of their strategy in line. And because I've been to so many conferences, I feel really compelled to talk about swag because a lot of these conferences had components that they had exhibition. So they had the trade show component where people were actually giving away swag. But anytime you meet with buyers is an opportunity to give them swag. And what I mean by swag is a free gift. And because, especially in the B2B world where corporate buyers are mandated not to accept gifts of a certain size or a dollar value, swag slips kind of under that, in that they are sort of tchotchkes, promotional products, but it can really be anything at all that relates to the message that you're trying to send them. And I wanted to tell you about this really great one that I got, and I promised them that I would make it the topic of a blog. And of course, what I blog about, I talk about on my Tuesday Tea Time. So let me this is like piping hot. In fact, I burnt my finger. But anyway, besides the point, let me just try if it's going to like scald the rest of me. And it's not tea, by the way, it's protein, back to protein. So first of all, before I unveil this one that was given to me that I thought was worthy enough to talk about, because it kind of showcases everything that I'm talking about, with one or two exceptions that I'll talk about. So what is swag? Why swag? One, everybody loves free. Everybody loves gifts. And even though corporate buyers of large companies can't accept actual gifts, they can possibly accept swag or information type of swag that delivers the information. So now, how do you make something that's cheap to give away and strategic and something that stands out? When too many people are gifting to buyers, they're literally taking the stuff, and if it's not something that they value, they're throwing it out. What I want for you is, even if they throw it out, before they throw it out, that they read it, consume it, and understand, and can position you in their head around what problem you solve. So how can you make it stand out? Now, I've seen a lot of swag that, or gifts to buyers, especially corporate buyers. And when I was a corporate buyer for 18 years for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay, I got some of the weirdest, some of the most expensive, some of the and the expensive part, wasn't allowed, so we had to give it back. But I've seen flashy, glib. I've seen highly technological, like technical stuff that was like, wow, I've never seen that before. And that's all great. But just like I say in my deep versus dry attention grabbing swag and pitches, you can be flashy, but if it doesn't follow the two rules that I'm going to give you, it's not going to be able to penetrate the wall of that buyer of attention and retention. So the first rule of what I like to teach my clients of what a giveaway to a prospect or to a buyer should be is, one is know their industry. And number two is know their pain. So you have to make it specific, and you have to make it a solution. So if you're not giving them a very specific solution, you're telling them that you're a generalist. You're telling them that you haven't taken the time to figure out what their problem is and how you can solve it. You're not positioning yourself as an expert in their pain. You're just giving them a gift for the sake of giving them, and literally they will take it and just go, thank you very much. And if it's something they can give to their kid, wonderful. If not, they'll just like toss it, right? So Now, what could you do? So let me just give you the example. So this was the company that gave me one of theirs, and it was a complete coincidence. The gentleman was sitting in the front row, and I generally ask people who are sitting in the front row to take pictures of us, of the speakers, of me, and in this case, it was Allison Cuby from Capital One. And what he did so well, because I mean, obviously, he owns, this is his thing, right? He owns a digital marketing company. And the gentleman gave me, well, in fact, his associate gave me this when I went to thank him the next day for amazing shots and amazing content that he just did it for me, just sitting there, because that's his shtick, that's his actual topic, that's his expertise. So I was really impressed with this because, one, like, I like that they actually tell you what problem they solve is we make content happen. And for most small businesses, content creation is the most painful, hardest thing to do. So that's one thing that caught my attention. The second thing is look at the contents. So they have given you a whole kit to be able to create content. So this is a selfie stick, and it's a really nice one too, if I may say. And then inside you get, I love it, blotting paper, which is like oil absorbing sheets, which I bought and I never knew how to use. So I loved it when, obviously, like, either I'm missing know-how or I'm missing sheen. Well, maybe I needed to use it today. I don't know. Then there was, marker, and of course their cards, right? Their business cards. And the part that I liked, oh, and there was also lens cleaning wipes. So the part that I loved the most about this was this tip sheet, right? It says diagonal media on camera guidelines, and then they have a checklist. So the checklist is around clothing and hair and makeup and performance. And it's like literally just, simple things you may not have put together into a checklist. And to me, this whole thing, but especially this, positions them as an expert in the problem that they solve for their target. So one of the things that they could have done is they could have targeted even finer for a specific industry within the small business realm. And there could have been messaging to that. So, if they were going to target, like, and that I like to target by industry. So if they were going to target or interest groups, so they could have targeted like realtors, or they could have targeted very specific B2B industry. If they were going to, like, maybe they would be targeting ad agencies to become a third party for ad agencies, in which ad agencies may not need this kind of content. They might need something else as gifts inside. So really, I would go a little bit more specific about what is the industry, and then tailor the gifts and the content inside to them. But as a generic, even as generic as it is, with just targeting small businesses, I think it's brilliant. Some similar on-point swag that I've recommended to my clients have been, one client's business was to provide a backup supply solution so that you're not getting old waiting on hold for people to, for the service. When right after COVID, people couldn't get supplies. Even if you had a contract with let's say a computer company for office supplies, you wouldn't be able to get your supplies. So what they did is they provided SOS, was the message. So which is Save Our Souls, which is helping people who are downed and who need the help, so who need the support. So that's what we recommended, sending us Lifesaver Ring, saying we are your life support, we are your second backup for when you can't get office supplies, so we can get it within a couple of days. The next is a client whose special message for healthcare was that their waiting rooms wouldn't be closed due to the inability of specialized trained cleaning staff to come and clean. And apparently that's a huge issue. So this company specifically had a 400 times higher retention rate of their staff in their commercial cleaning company, which is why they were able to consistently offer the same kind of high quality clean in very, very hard to clean surfaces and hard to clean and very important high level uh, sanitary institutions like hospitals and healthcare. So we, recommended a glue bottle, the iconic white glue bottle with the message, our people stick to us. And the reason why that's important is because that means you get consistent clean, high level clean every time. Another one that we've done is a tip postcard, very simple, high gloss postcard printed with the tips, with a whole tip list, very similar to sort of this one. And it was almost like a checklist, but it was tips. And then we actually called people, the clients, homework was to call actual targets that were going to be at that conference, invite them to pick up this tip postcard at their booth. And they ended up scheduling like at least 5-6 appointments even prior to getting to the actual event. So because there was that, excuse of calling them and inviting them to share this value added postcard. Another way that we have done on point swag, and you can put it into sort of any kind of carrier. You can put it into very interesting kind of gifts, whatever is allowed in terms of the value, but we've done infographics. So infographics are information and statistics about a problem and a solution in the shape of pictures and flowcharts and graphics. And it's colorful, it's user-friendly, it's easy to read, it's easy to digest, and it's really good at positioning you as an expert in that problem, in that solution. So that's one of the other ways. Another thing we've done is we've presented a jump stick. So, like a USB stick to give to the buyers with a presentation or white paper that pertains to their problem. And lastly, one thing that I do and I recommend for clients is the my Uvo tap card. So instead of an actual business card, I have a tap card or you can scan the URL or the QR code, where I actually have and share my books and my videos that are topical and have to do with the problem that I solve for the group that I'm targeting. So those are some of the ways that you can design your swag to sell, because the only reason why you would use a swag, a gift, and you would give it to and get it into the hands of your decision makers is to get a sales appointment. So I hope that was helpful. Coming out of, seeing tons of swag that people have been pouring money into and that have been ending up in landfills, I don't want the same thing to happen to you. Let me take another swig. And so no more swag that gets dumped. I want you to think strategically. I want you to figure out who is the target, what is their problem, and how can you creatively give them a solution in the gift that you're going to hand to them. Okay, everyone? I hope that was good. We'll see you next time. Take care.